Well, another Honda. We're in a timing belt, balance shaft belts, and belts were good. Just a replacement of the pulleys, tensioner, and then also got a new oil pump put in. The oil pump was making a lot of noise. There was too much clearance on the back side of the plate to the actual pump centrifugal piece itself. And then we went ahead and checked out all the oil leaks that were going on in here. We got new seals put in, one for the cam, one for the crank, one for the balance shaft, new gasket or O-ring gasket for that was it the front balance shaft, got new valve cover gasket, did our valve adjustment with valve lash. Pretty much what you guys want to do on the valve adjustment is make sure you got it on top dead center compression stroke, and that you got all of the rocker arms for that specific cylinder loose. You can wiggle them. You shouldn't be pressing on any of the valves. What you can do is you take a feeler gauge, and I use 10 and 12 for the spec. It's between 9 and 11 on the intake and 11 and 13 on the exhaust. And what you can do is you're going to put your feeler gauge in right here in between the rocker arm assembly and the top of the valve, and you're going to check and see what your spec is. Pretty much you don't want it to be too tight in there. So I got a feeler gauge set here. We'll just check it really quick because I got number one set at TDC. So we got some feeler gauges here. And here is our 10. Let's see, right. Here's our 11. Let's try our 11 and see how it is. We'll check the exhaust side. Just real quick. So what you want to do is you want to get it in there where it's got not too much bite. See, this stuff is a little tight. Oh, actually, I think it's because it's a little dry there. Get some oil. Okay, there it goes. That's really cool. Okay. Yeah, it's still a little tight. We're going to have to readjust this one just a smidge. But I'm not done with this car yet. We're still going to check it. What you're going to do is you're going to put this in there. You're going to loosen up this jam nut right here with the screw, and have a screwdriver to either tighten or loosen based off of your needed adjustment. This little screw here, and that'll either give you more clearance or less clearance on the filler gauge. So I have a size 10 wrench here. So we're going to go ahead and loosen this up. So I'm going to loosen that guy up just like that. And what you're going to do is, hopefully I can let you guys are watching, see there. Let's see. Some old man's child going in the background over there. The jams. Make the fucking thing stay. Fucking piece of shit phone. Alright, here we go. Not the best focus, but really trying to get this focus in there. Anyways, got our filler gauge there. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this up just a smidge. Now it's nice and smooth. I want to have just a little tiny hair of drag on there. So just finally small adjustment, about right there. So once you feel it's comfortable and you made a good adjustment, you don't want it too loose, you don't want it too tight, you want to adjust a little bit of drag. You use a screwdriver, hold it in place, and you're going to tighten up that jam nut to lock in that adjustment. And then you'll do all the valves for that cylinder, intake and exhaust. And then you will rotate the engine around and get to the next one, and you'll go from there. And you just keep going, knock them all out. There we go, nice and smooth. Look at that. It's got a little bit of drag, but not binding up tight. So that's just an example of how to do a valve adjustment on a Honda. This is the 01 Accord 4-banger. This is, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's what, a F23A4 engine or something like that. I don't know the engine models too much for the Hondas, but haven't had any issues before adjusting the valve. As long as you follow the spec and double check your work, make sure everything's good, you should be okay. So this one had an original complaint of a little bit of shaky and a lot of oil leaks. You can smell oil burning under the hood. I had to add 2 quarts a day, pretty much what they're saying. So once again, it's the 01 Honda Accord. You guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Alright guys, later.